Welcome back to my Ticking Talk channel. Today I'm reviewing my Citizen Altichron Compass watch. I've had this watch about 6 months and I really enjoy it. It's right on my wrist right here and it's kind of large watch. We'll get to a little bit more detail of it right now. Real quickly, this watch has a stainless steel case on it. Case back, it has a black rubber strap. If you're not used to black rubber straps, this one seems to be okay. It does kind of pinch on the skin, but if you work like I do in the garden and stuff and it gets wet, it's perfectly fine. It has a bidirectional rotating black stainless steel bezel, minute markers around the outer rim and everything. Mineral crystal. It's an eco drive movement, meaning it charges itself with light, any light, outside light, indoor light, whatever. Nice push-pull crown. It's also water resistant to 200 meters. And the specific thing about this, it's a compass and an altimeter. And we're going to review that right now. So what we have here is the Citizen Eco Drive Altichron watch. It's a compass watch. I bought this for hiking, assuming I ever go hiking long distances. It's a fairly big watch. It sits on my 6 1/4 inch wrist, fairly big, but it's actually fairly comfortable. The rubber strap keeps this nice and tight. It's an Eco Drive, so it's powered by the sun. Real briefly, what we have here on the left-hand side, this sub-dial is the power reserve. When it's at 3.5, it's at 100%, which is currently at. You have the date over here in the date window, second hand, minute, hour hand. What we have around this outside though is you'll see one of the two features of this is a compass feature. And there's two buttons on the side. This top button is a compass button. This bottom button is the altimeter button. So on the right hand side we have, now we're indoors, so the compass I know is off there. What I have here is your standard issue compass, US military compass. And it's pointing right to the steel block right behind it. I gotta move a few things here, hold on. Gigantic steel block. Look at that. Here we go. There we go. look the iPhone. Hello, which way's north? Now it's a little bit off because we're indoors, of course. This has north headed this way, should be more over here, but this one's off too. Let's see how accurate this one is. I'm going to push this top right button. What we'll see now is you see this little hand just moved right there, and it's going to move this way. This is actually more accurate than either of these two. Now the nice thing about this compass is that the outer bezel rotates. So as you know, if you're out in the field, you always use the outer bezel to identify or figure out which way is north and which way you're headed. You just saw this reset back to 12. It does that after a little bit. Now what we're going to do now is press the altimeter button. What's going to happen is a couple things. This sub-dial, which is the power reserve, is going to go down to 0 because this ends up being the thousands of feet, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 feet. If you have a European model or a metric model, this is in meters versus feet. And we'll see the feet segment here on the outer of the inside dial, and this will basically rotate to the elevation. Now we have an elevation counter here, which I'm not sure how accurate that is actually. We'll see what we have here. I'm going to push the lower left button. That starts resetting. This goes down to 0, the sub dial. And this starts rotating. 300 feet, 400 feet, 500 feet, 600 feet, 7, 8, 800 feet. As far as I knew, this was about 780 feet, and this is close to 800 feet, so this is more accurate than the iPhone is. Of course, the compass doesn't show elevation. And then you give it a little bit, and it will reset itself again, where you can push the button again, and it'll reset like this. Once you reset, it goes back up to 12 noon, And this goes back to your power reserve. Of course, each one of these has an advantage. The cell phone is basically a phone, is with you all the time. It's fairly accurate. The disadvantages is battery, and the battery will die. The advantage over the watch is, well, you know what time it is. You can figure out which way is north and use it as you would normally a compass. And it's powered by the sun. Of course, at nighttime, it doesn't help at all. There is lumens on the hour and minute hand. And if we charge it up real quickly, turn off the lights, we can see there's a little dot for each hour marker and the hour and minute hand. But of course, if you're at night, you know, when there's no sun, you don't have a flashlight, there's no way to charge your watch. So at nighttime, you can't really read watches when it's pitch black and there's no moon. But it does fill all the other features that you want, but hopefully you won't be traversing at that time. Of course, you got a regular compass. These work great when there's no metal around. There's too much metal down here right now for that. This is very, very susceptible to any type metal. But that's the Citizen Altichron. So that's the Citizen Altichron Compass Altitude Altimeter watch. It is very functional, but it's only those two functions. If you need more features, Casio makes a lot of trekking and compass type watches. Some are like $88 you can get on the gray market that are very feature rich, many more features than this watch here. The only advantage this one has is it has a rotating bezel to use as an actual compass. Other watches don't actually just have segments, then they don't rotate a bezel. Many of them may need a smartphone to actually tell you the trail you've been taking and track your trail, but you need a smartphone, but a smartphone dies, doesn't do much. Other ones have backlighting for nighttime, makes it much more usable than this. The Casio one's also solar powered. So this one is really only advantage, and I haven't checked out the Casio ones. The only advantage this has is the bezel rotates. You can use it as an actual compass. So the only advantage this has is you can use the bezel to rotate which way is north and use the compass to determine which way you're walking, like you would with a regular compass if you're completely lost and don't know where you're at. If you're in a small park, of course, and your cell phone is probably charged, if you're out in the middle of nowhere, you turn off your Bluetooth, turn off your Wi-Fi, and just use the compass, turn it on and off, figure out where you're at, or just use the maps, figure out exactly where you're at, figure out which direction you need to go for a few minutes and keep going that direction. You know, it just depends. So it's a nice watch. It does what it does. It does the two things. It does compass and altimeter like it should. It's very expensive though. I don't remember the price. It's like $350 or more gray market, more retail. The case body is very strong, stainless steel. It's brushed on the side, polished on the lower bevel. It's a very nice design watch. If you're into compass watches, this should be one of them on your list to get. If you're looking for more features, you have to look at Casio, and I'm sure Timex has some too. But this is really for your hardcore trailheads. Anyways, I hope you like this. Give it a thumbs up, like, subscribe, and share. And I hope you enjoy this. Any questions, comments, put them down below. We'll see you later.